Hello viewers. Basically this is a follow-up to my Nokta Accupoint Metal Detecting Pro video where I was out in the field. If you saw the first video of this pair of videos, I was out in the field and it was working in reverse. In other words, you put the pinpointer on something metal, it'd go quiet, hold it in the air away from metal, and it'd start vibrating and making a noise as it's supposed to do when you put near metal. So it's working in reverse and doing the opposite of what it's supposed to do. So as you got nearer the metal, the vibration and the beeping stopped and took it away. And of course, it started again. So it wasn't doing its job, it was working backwards. I did a reset on it and everything, it was still doing it. Now, of course, you got a warranty on these things. I mean, I've had this since December, so it's 6 months old. I've only used it about a dozen times, if that. And I noticed in cold weather it was working better, but it still played up occasionally. Now, to get a replacement from Nokta or get it looked at under your sort of statutory rights, 12 months, I believe, you've basically got to contact them, explain the problem. If they agree it's something they should look at, they will then mail you a form to fill in and give you permission to send it back. You know, when you glibly mention statutory rights, 12 months, I'm covered. It's not as easy as that. If you think it costs 140 quid, therefore, the cost of them putting someone on it, analyse it, paying for a return or sending it back to me is obviously a significant chunk of the profits that they're very fussy about, like most companies would be, not just Nokta. They'll be very fussy about what they take back. And of course, with that sort of combative attitude, you sort of get your mindset that they're going to find reasons not to help you. But like I said, it's not just Nokta, that's the way it is with a lot of objects you buy now, a lot of items. It's so I'm not singling Nokta out for that, because it's the same. I remember I tried to send a Bosch kettle back once because it wouldn't switch off when it was boiling sometimes, intermittently. It was dangerous. And the hassle, I mean, for a 60 quid kettle, the hassle I had, and an obscure phone number you have to, trawl the internet to find before you can ring them up and get them to accept it. It's just, they make it hard for you, put it that way. And that's with a Bosch kettle, so I just put it in the bloody garage and bought a new one. So, now I need a pinpointer to go detecting. Now, by the time I'd processed this, if they agreed to take it back and told them what was wrong with it and blah, 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 found the package, returned it and got a replacement or a repair, whatever was appropriate, that would have taken, a couple of weeks, a week at least. And of course, I need it in the next few days. So basically, I just bought, because I've got a Minelab Manticore, I just bought a Minelab ProPoint 40 there, most up-to-date one, which the detector partner I've got uses the 35 or the 30, and it's great. So I've just basically got one of those. So having made a decision to forfeit my 140 quid and take it apart, I'm going to explain to you what was wrong with it. If you look at this little clip here, if you push that, if you unscrew the end where you put your charging cable onto it, your USB-C, if you push that across, you can slide all the gubbins out. So I sort of thought, well, I'll slide it out just see if there's anything in it, or damp or anything like that. Why is it intermittently working and now it's totally not working? And it looked fine. I slid it out, and obviously I've made a mess of it now. But there's a graphite core in there. It's actually about 3 inches long. An inch of it is missing. See where the wires I'm wrapping there? It went up there. Where I've got the cursor now, there's another sort of inch of it there. And obviously that wire wrapped around it. And of course, schoolboy physics, that's your electromagnetic field, isn't it? You've got the polarity, you've got I think the negative in the core and the positive in the wire around it, or vice versa, whatever. Very sensitive. And basically, once I took the gubbins out and turned it on, so it did have its plastic case on, it was doing exactly the same. But when I got hold of this bit. If you imagine this complete, that wire wasn't unwrapped, and I still had the graphite, the full 3 inches of graphite there, not just the 2 inches left. I was just moving it, and then it stopped alarming. It stopped sensing, and it went quiet. So I figured out pretty quickly what it was and why it's been doing it since I had it. And so basically, I took the tape off, unwrapped the wire, as you can see, and the graphite core was cracked. Now, obviously, if it's cracked and not fully broken, what will happen, if you break it fully off, it will reverse its polarity, and it'll end up working the opposite way like it was. It'll bleep when there's no metal, and when there's metal, it'll go quiet. And it was doing that intermittently ever since I had it. But in the cold weather, when I bought it in December, it was mostly working. It got worse and worse the warmer the weather got. Now it's June, obviously. I'm figuring out just that it had a hairline crack in the graphite core. And in the warm weather, it expanded a bit. And it was enough to make it malfunction. To break its connection and reverse the polarity on it. And so when I unwrapped the wire and took the tape off, unwrapped the wire in that order, sorry. It literally fell off. Inch of the graphite core inside that coil fell off. And I looked at the end of it. I haven't got the piece, but you have to take my word for this. But I looked at the end of it, and you could see that 3/4 of the circle, looking face down, the bit that broken off, was a slightly different colour to a little bit of it, about 1/4 of it. And I think it was just fractured and moving and intermittently disconnecting, making the whole probe malfunction. And like I said, it was doing that since I had it. I just thought it was too sensitive or something. I did the factory reset on it and everything. So yeah, I've sacrificed 140 quid and invalidated the warranty. But I can't, for me, sacrificing 140 quid is preferable to not being able to go out detecting for a couple of weeks and waiting for them to sort it out if they would have sorted it out. So that's the story behind this. I don't know if it happened in manufacturing, because I suppose in an air-conditioned, dust-free electronics manufacturing place where it's cold, they might not have noticed it. Because like I said, when it's cold, it worked better. But in their quality control checks or whatever. But at least I've satisfied my curiosity by sacrificing 140 quid on what was actually wrong with it. Now these are very robust things. This plastic is thick. That is, you see that graphite core that went down there. That's the probe end. That's where it goes. It works laterally in on the tip. Can't quite see the tip on here. That's where that sits inside that thin yellow bit up there. And obviously, it, like I said, but not fully with a fracture in it. It was just working intermittently, and it was just unreliable. But at least I've identified what was wrong with it. So I paid 140 quid effectively to satisfy my curiosity. It was a quite simple thing. The graphite core was cracked, and judging by the fact that it didn't do it as much in the cold weather, but it still did it. It did it in the house, but not when I was out with it. I noticed that as long ago as January, but thought that's just sensitive. But obviously, it was working outside in the cold weather. In the house, when I charged it up, it was playing up, and it's playing up in the warm weather lately. So that's the story of my Nokta Accupoint. I know people have had similar problems with them falsing, and they've reset them, they're still false when they're in mid-air. I just wonder if they had a batch of dodgy graphite coils or something, I don't know, or graphite cores. There's some issue with a few of them. But so if you have a Nokta Accupoint, or Nokta Nana as it's called by its colour, obviously, if you've got one of those and it's going off in mid-air and not working next to the metal, you probably find you've got the same issue as me. You've got the graphite core's damaged on it. You like to think it happened in manufacturing or had a bad batch, because if it's happening out in the field, in other words, these probes are quite robust, you're tapping them into the bottom of holes, you're scraping the side of the hole with them to find something, and they've got to be robust, haven't they? That's why I've got such thick plastic casing. I've never had a problem with any casing breaking on any probe. I've had 3 or 4 different manufacturers. Yeah, and so if it's the fact that you're going out of the field and tapping it on stones and in the hole and that, and it's separating and the coils and the graphite cores cracking, that's a serious issue. So hopefully it's just a bad bash or just a one-off that got damaged in manufacture. But either way, I won't be getting my money back. But at least I've been able to provide this video with some background information as to what's probably happened to it. So yeah, I've got a Manticore, a Minelab Profine 40 now, which came in 24 hours. So yeah, I've forfeited this. But fellow detectorists, if you ever get an issue with this probe or any probe that you get that it seems to be acting reverse to how it should, that is your issue. You've got a cracked graphite core and the polarity is randomly reversing. Thank you for watching.